Good morning. This is Ron Brown. It is the morning of June 28th, 2022. This is my second in the series of prospecting with HGSI. I'm going to take you through several as I build this library, but I want to build upon the intraday top-down process that I showed you in the previous video. But what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to select a method of cutting down the number of stocks that we have to look at. And today I'm going to use my Undercut and Rally scans. This is just one of the many ways that the number of stocks to analyze can be cut down. Okay, so once again, standard risk disclaimer. You'll know all this by now. All trading strategies are at your own risk. If you want a 30-day trial of HGSI, just go to the website and you'll also get 30 days to my Insider Club and my files. So I'm back at my standard setup here, except I have an Undercut and Rally chart here, and these are located up here in folder number 4. And I am using the one with intraday statistics, chart number 4, so I can see this information right here. But let's get into the process. I'm going to close the warehouse view so I can calculate these industry groups faster. I'll click on Industries, go under Tools, Rebuild Indexes and Group, and it's rebuilding the indexes with the stock data, and the stock data is updated every 5 minutes. Just takes a few seconds to do this. And then I'm going down to my what I call my non-indexed groups. These groups do not have indexes because that slows down the updating process. And I'm going to folder number 13, and I will transfer this group of stocks and industry groups into the warehouse module by clicking up here. It brings it back up where it was. I'll go over here to the left hand side, click on that, and it takes me to the top of the list. I have my sort on. It's the industry percentage price change 1 day and the raw combo rank. The combo is an intraday combo which drives the stocks with the best price percentage and range to the top of the list. Now, I did this a little bit earlier today, or not that long ago, and the number 1 group was airlines. And you can see that the expiration of production has overtaken it. Let's go down here. Not by much. It's 3.49% on the airlines and 3.69 on the expiration production. What do we have? 74 up, 1 down, 1 unchanged. I added the unchanged column today. It'll be put up on the server with this view either today or tomorrow morning. Okay, now I'm going, since we've moved it up to the expiration and production group, I'm going to change to that group. I'm going to click through to the ranking module, and then I will go back to make sure that all of these groups are still in here because I'm going to use everything. Remember, I did this because I'm looking for stocks that are near the top based upon their Wilder RSI. Not a great chart there. This one's much better. You can see how strong this is. The fan is in place. So this helps me quickly locate strong stocks. This one's pulled back, but notice that it's under accumulation. Now I have this chart here, the Undercut and Rally chart, the intraday version, so I can see the volume and so on, and get all the intraday information just to see which stocks are under accumulation. But rather than using the ranking module, I'm going to go back up here and just look at the top stock here, and Crescent Energy. And let's take a look at this. I'll make this full screen. And here was an accumulation day. Notice the crossover to the downside was right here. We see it here. So it was losing momentum, as the group lost momentum up here, and then it came down, an accumulation day, but because the 3, the 6, and the 3 were headed down sharply, and we've had several bad days, I don't pay any attention to it. But when this 3 starts turning up and the 6 flattens out, that's when I really start paying attention to these if they come up in the screen. So what do we have? A bullish candle, a spinning top, but it's white, so I consider that bullish. Here's an effort to rise, long white candle, and then a gap up today. The 3 has not crossed the 6 yet, but you can see that it's getting close to doing that. The VPOC has turned positive, volume point of control. Now going back here, let's go back to this point. Here is an accumulation day after the 3 and 6 were coming down. Notice how it's flattened out. We had a 3 and 6 crossover here, a 2-day bar, 2-day window, I mean. And what a good trade that turned out to be. I didn't take this. I wasn't really aware of it at the time, but I'm just showing you. Now when you get this chop in here like this, you know, it's very easy to get chopped up. When that's happening, go up and make sure see what the group's doing, see if the group's starting to move up or if it's just flat like it was here. But this was a buy which failed, so you have to have your stop in, and just to make sure you don't lose too much money. But when the group really starts moving, and let me get this out of the way, you can see when you pull this window down that at this point the group was moving up sharply, and then it just flattened for a day, and then it took off, and then see where it rolled over here. This is all good information in this chart. Now I'm just showing you one stock here, and I'm really not even screening on this yet, so let's do that. Rather than going through and looking at all these charts individually, the easy way to do this is to go down to my Undercut and Rally folder, which is number 2. Use the intraday, and the fan is up, and there's either a bullish flag or a candle or both. Now the first one with the 3 less than the 6 means they're still in a downtrend, but when you use the intraday version, you can see those in a downtrend when they're gaining momentum and turning green, and here is a very good example. This was an accumulation day yesterday, that's why it showed up through the scan, and then today there is a gap up and a follow through. The 3 has not crossed the 6 yet, but notice right here the 3 had flattened out as of yesterday, and the move is on, or at least in the short term, with oil up another $1.40 today. Let's just look at one more. I'm going to go down to the third one, Interplus. You can see what happens. Here's the accumulation days. All of these, none of these have fired yet as of last night. You can see that by looking down this column. This is the days since the 3 crossed the 6. These are all negative. But on these that are gaining strong momentum today, by the end of the day, and by the way, if they cross intraday, this will turn a dark green. So that's one. Now I'm going to look at the other side of this. These are stocks that crossed over with a 2-day window. Notice how on this column's empty now, and this column is populated. 0 means they crossed over yesterday, and 1 means they crossed over 2 days ago. So let's just bring one of these up, and you can see here's the crossover yesterday, and here's the follow through today. Here's the accumulation day. Accumulation day here too, but there was no follow through. Okay, let's do another one. Accumulation days here. No green bar. Here's the crossover bar where it turned dark green. Let's see if I can find one that's a little more expensive here. $19 stock. Accumulation. No follow through, accumulation, no follow through. Low pivot here, accumulation, crossover yesterday, and a gap up today. It's kind of stalling right now though. Now notice that I applied this view to all of the stocks in this group, and these are the industries that are appearing. So what I did is I cut the list down, I should say, from over 4,000 to 50 just by applying this filter. And then by looking at the industry groups, I can see which of these groups are going up today. Marine shipping was strong yesterday, but the group is weak today. So by concentrating on the groups that are up today and using the Undercut and Rally screens, you can quickly pare down your list of candidates. Now I have a fan up with a 3 under the 6. I have fan up with a 3 greater than the 6, and these are 3 below 6 with no fan requirement, and these are 3 greater than 6 with no fan requirement. So this is going to open up a lot of stocks. See this? 681 stocks now by not requiring a fan. And let's look at the 3-6 crossover. Even more stocks, 782. So if you're looking for the strongest stocks, just concentrate on the stocks with the fan up, because these are the stocks that have pulled back. They were potentially were the former leaders, and now they are going again. Now this one has a fan up, even though it's had a sharp downturn, because the 200's here, the 100's here, the 50's here, and the 18 is still above the 50. So that qualifies as the fan being up. Anyway, this is just one more example of how you can prospect intraday, and really cut your prospecting time down. Thanks for listening.